This is solution for question number 9. So let's show you step by step every single way, starting from a blank spreadsheet. Salary for alternate enter XYZ company. Okay, now let me just merge the 3 cells into one cell, double click, drag down. Okay, next we have the tax percentage. Tax percentage is, and let's put 10 ringgit. Name gross salary. I'm pressing the shift key to make sure that what I type will appear in uppercase. Salary. Okay, here we go. Next we're gonna type Alex, Bill, Cindy, Darren, total. Okay, gross salary is 1,000, 1,500, 1,500, 1,400. Okay, first thing I'm going to do is to calculate his net salary. Now, tax percentage is 10%, which means to say that his net salary will be the salary after minusing the tax. Now here's his salary minus bracket. The percentage is 10, which is C3. Now I need to divide that by 100 to make it 10%. Then you need to multiply with the gross salary. Close the bracket there. There you go. Oh, same thing. Now remember, the tax percentage comes from one cell, so cell C3 must be an absolute address, not a relative address. There you go, it works. Okay, just one more time to explain the formula. To calculate the net salary, which is actually the salary left over after deducting the tax on that salary. The formula is equal to the gross salary, the original salary, which is B6 here, minusing the 10%. Now this part shows you 10%. That's C3 divided by 100, because C3 is 10, so 10 divided by 100, 100 is 10%. I can't just put 10 because that wouldn't make sense. So this value 10 is equal to is a 10%. So I have to divide the value of C3 by 10. Okay, then 10% of what? Well, 10% of what? Of gross salary. Gross salary is B6. Okay, so this part here is the amount of taxes that Bill has to pay, which is 10% of his gross salary, which is 10% of his gross salary. Get it? Now the last thing I want to mention about this formula is that C3 has got to be an absolute address. Why? Because I will be copying this cell, drag it down. I'm going to copy the contents of that cell into the cells below. Now if you were to press F2 after clicking on cell C7, you see that C3 is indeed an absolute address. C3 is $C$3, that's an absolute address. C3 is $C$3, that's an absolute address. Okay, let's add up the total using the sum function. That's done. Now let's just put in the borders. Now this is just the first part of the question. The second question says, what happens if I forgot to put in the bracket, the comma. The second part is, what happens if each worker now receives a 20% increase in his or her gross salary. Okay, 20% increase. So to show that, I'm going to insert another column. I'm going to put new gross salary. Sal for short for salary. Now to increase by 20% means that I need to take this value, multiply by 1.2. Okay, there are many ways to calculate to the new gross salary. This is one of them. So if I were to calculate B6 times 1, that means that there's no change. But if I were to put times 2.2, that would mean that means 20% increase. Okay, so that works. Now another way I can calculate that is by using the gross salary plus with 20%, 20 over 100 times the gross salary again. But this is just a bit more complicated. Okay, let me try that again. Gross salary plus with the increase. The increase is what? 20% of the gross salary. There you go. So I prefer to use this formula. B6 multiplied by 1.2. Okay. So let's just drag that down. And now the net salary has got to change, because now the net salary is actually the new gross salary, which is C6, and then 10% minus 10% of C6. So now let me just modify this down, and that's the answer. Boldface, right click, increase it to, there you go. That's the solution for question number 9.